rock you kicked away must still be there. I mean...
Yeah, the rock's presence can still be felt like it's been moved.
Yeah, that's it. And the rock's auras remain. Along comes this poor unfortunate numbnut and poof, nearly falls over.
Yeah.
Well, it's either that or the guy just tripped up, in which case he's still a poor unfortunate numbnut.
So what else do you know about auras and energy fields?
Well, in this case, I'd call it a latent, persistent auric body.
Okay.
Well, firstly, to explain actually what an aura is. We all know that matter is made up of atoms. Atoms have electrons. Electrons have electrical charge, right?
Correct.
So all matter has an electromagnetic field, or an aura, emanating from it.
Yeah, some people say they can see auras.
We should have asked that guy that tripped here before. I bet he does aura readings in his spare time.
Perhaps all of us can see auras, but we're just unable to consciously perceive them. We ignore them because we don't know what they are. We're not told they exist. Like those word illusion puzzle things, right in front of your eyes, but the way the question's been asked, or what we've learned to look for, we can't see the answer to the puzzle.
Oh, yeah.
Like the statement you write in triangle that says, I love Paris in the springtime. But when you read it, the way the brain works in reading and comprehension, that you only actually read, I love Paris in the springtime.
Yes, we're told we cannot see the answer because it's the way the brain works. I don't totally agree with that.
Me neither.
I think it comes down to how aware you are, like our spiritual leader, all-seeing, all-knowing numbnut.
Spiritually, yes. Clearly shows no regard for thousands of years of biped evolution.
James.
Stuart.
Some people are just not aware. I'm sure they walk around with their heads up their arse. Here's an example. The other day I was in a coffee shop around breakfast time. Now a guy was sitting opposite me. He was butting his toast. Now this guy's about 40 or so. My guess would have been he's buttered toast once or twice before in his lifetime. And so he had a good concept of how to do it. Anyway, he was looking at what he was doing, not occupied with anything else. Sure, he could have been turning a thought over in his head how he'd like to marry a voluptuous Eskimo, keep a Spanish Andalusian as a pet, live in an ivory tower and make Indian swamp root oil for a living. But anyway, this guy took the butter onto his knife and spread away. But the thing is, no matter how many times he'd obviously done this before, he still couldn't get it right. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he put so much butter on his knife than what he could use.
Exactly. He's done it so many times before, but it's been out of present time. He's not paying any attention to what he was really doing, nor having any conscious idea of how much butter would be reasonably be required to cover a standard piece of toast. If this is happening to him on this level, imagine what's happening to him in other dynamics of his life.
Yeah, like this guy here before. He's walked since he was 12 months old or so. And he can't consistently put one foot in front of the other. It's who we're not paying attention. Here's a good one. Very common. Ask someone to describe their watch to you, they probably look at the watch face many times a day. They don't actually see the watch face. They wouldn't even have a clue how to describe it to you.
So we could say these examples, be it butter in the toast, seeing the watch face, or the word puzzles, all related to the brain and the set of theories the brain causes us to be who we are. Have you heard of this type of theory?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the idea there are certain parts of the brain that control certain types of information. So the function of these parts of the brains will dictate thoughts one will have.
All that, in my opinion, is just a load of mind-spirit nullifying brain-based coarse horseshit. The way you think governs the growth of all parts of the brain.
I knew it. Practice makes perfect. I'll be a Jedi someday after all.
So how much longer do you think this bus is going to be?
I don't know. This guy might know.
Sorry guys, if you're waiting for the 11:38 bus, there's been involved in an accident. You can catch a bus on the other side of the park if you want.
What bus number is that?
Bus 69.
So you're going to catch that bus then?
Yeah, okay. So that was a perfect example of how little intelligence is required to have fun, and everybody has a place in it today.
I feel alright and I feel so fine like a candle, burning bright. I hope not to die tonight. Yeah, I feel alright and I feel so fine walking down the streets at night. I believe I can breathe, I can see disbelief in your eyes, in your eyes.